we all think the same and feel the same and desire the same things in life. My name is Cris Todd. I'm 24, but will be 25 in January. Live in Shepparton, work in Echuca in community services in the health and disability field. Music's a big part of my life. I don't think there's a day where I don't listen to music. I love music that's more piano driven. I love the sound of a piano. I used to play when I was younger and stopped. Writing for me is a sense of freedom, getting out what's stuck inside, whether it's a negative or a positive experience. What I enjoy about writing is you can write really whatever you want, whether it is exactly the truth or not. So it's just getting it out and making, I guess, myself feel free of whatever was inside. Today, I spent most of the day by myself, and there's parts that I like about it. And that gets to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm bored now. I always like to be with people and doing something. I'm a person that would like going camping with 10 people. Family means to me craziness. We're such a different, diverse bunch that it really defines what a family is for me, because half of us aren't related by blood, and we have that connection still like any other family that I see. For myself, in a same-sex relationship, when we have kids, one half of us isn't going to be related to the child biologically, but to me that's no stress or worry, because I've already learned that, blood isn't what family is. Most of the time they're supportive and come to everything that we do. I've come along to many different rallies and festivals, and I couldn't have asked for a better family in my journey anyway. I grew up first having feelings for women, and then puberty kicks in and sort of something changes in a way. But then when you look back, there's sort of always been that little bit of, oh, what's this, kind of thing. And for me, I tried to fight it and didn't want to believe it and didn't want to be that person. I never really knew anyone that was gay or same-sex attracted. You hear things in a negative way constantly, or called certain words, so you think, oh, I don't want to be out because I don't want this to be my life every single day. I tried to depress it a lot. I think if I had the opportunity where I did think about it more and accepted myself more, who knows, I could have come out earlier. Once school finished, you sort of look at your life and work out who you are, and a lot of that baggage goes once you finish school as well. I finally accepted my feelings that I had. I might have met a girl one weekend, and the next weekend I might have went out and met a boy. To me, it's more about the person. You can't help who you fall in love with, or you can't help where the heart goes. A lot of my teenage years and early adult life, a lot of horrible things happened, and experienced with health, and in my own battle with sexuality and idea of who I was, then led to how I perceived myself, and then that led to into different eating habits which weren't good. So then I was drinking a lot all the time, and people didn't know. I wish I spoke to people sooner about all these issues, because when it did have the breakdown, that everything crashed, the help was there and it got put in place. You've got to want the help as well. I still didn't like being told what to do as a 19-year-old. You've got to get to that point where you need to take it on board, and I just think if I'd spoken up so much earlier, it just wouldn't have grown. And I think if you had that person to speak to, they can help. And that's where it's great that diversity is a big part of some people's lives. And people are coming out that, to remember we take 13, 10, 5 years to accept us as individuals and people and love ourselves, that we've got to give other people the same amount of time when we drop a bombshell sometimes like that. But I would also like it to be a day where you don't have to come out, or you don't have to sort of tell people that aspect of your life and be known for that. And that in society, growing up, we don't just go to a little boy, you got a little girlfriend at school, that like you were already embedding into their minds that boys must have girlfriends. Growing up, I struggled with love for a long time. People say, no, people can't love you unless you love yourself. Over the years, I've allowed myself to let go. And even when I met Damien, I didn't plan on being in a relationship because I didn't want one, but it just happened and I just went with it. I look back and think I'm glad I did, because otherwise it wouldn't have happened. One of the most difficult challenges I think I had, I guess it was when I started in the workforce, and was when they automatically presumed you had a girlfriend in a way and would say, what's her name? I had a huge challenge with saying, I don't actually have a girlfriend, I have a male partner. And for a long time, I didn't challenge people on that. For a long time, like even my hairdresser, I went along, I even made a name up in a way just because I thought, oh God, it's awkward. They've already got to this point. And then it would get to a point where it'd be too big that it'd be really hard to undo. It came to the point where I thought, this is ridiculous. How would I feel if I went somewhere and heard Damien say, my name was Christine or something? Then I came clean with a lot of things. But now I don't have a problem with that at all. If someone says, what's your girlfriend's name? I say, well, her name's Damien. That was a huge challenge, I think. And especially when you allow it to become this big story over a year and then have to break it. Recently someone said, well, why do you always have to post, stuff about, gay rights and this on Facebook? And I said, well, because that's what I'm passionate about. I said, my friends post on their Facebook about being a mother and her kids because that's her passion and her life now. And my other friend posts stuff about car racing because he races and he's passionate about cars. I said, so, I don't really see what the issue is. But for them, there was a big issue. I think being open and out and so public has helped people accept me and my life more to a degree. And I think the more people see something, the more it's normalised in their mind or their vision. I would, me and Damien would prefer there'd be 10 other people that would also speak up. So it isn't just us, because doing that comes with a lot of negative baggage as well. It's more from the gay community that's the negative backlash, because some of them aren't out and they, I guess, want to be, or they want to have what you have and don't have it, so they try and knock you down. It can be quite damaging in a way because it just messes with your mind. Because too much that we've got to change the minds of the straight people. But there's still a lot of hurt in the gay community because I guess we've had to live a certain way for a long time, that when laws and all that change, it scares a lot of people, because in a way, when laws change, it's sort of forcing people to come out in a way. There's so much that is out there that prevents myself and my partner from becoming a family. We can't adopt in Victoria, but we can sort of adopt in New South Wales, and then, we can't do certain surrogacy in the country, so then we've got to go overseas and do it, which is a whole lot more money. And I just think if we had all the same laws and it was much easier, then I could start my family a lot sooner than what I have to. Growing up was my dream to get married and have kids, and I just don't think, because of my sexuality, that should have to change. The more people see my life and how I act in my life and my relationship, the more normalised it will get in people. If we go down the street and we hold hands, 10 people might stare, but if you keep doing it, eventually no one will stare. And that's something that I don't do. Sometimes I look around and you see couples just being couples, and I think, God, I wish I could have that. I wish I could do that. And I can, but I just know by doing that it's going to cause attention and stares, so I choose not to do it. The important things I've learnt in life is not to judge people, because growing up I did that a lot. But when I've learnt, when you actually speak to the people and you actually realise they're actually a nice person, that you're a fool and you missed out on an opportunity of knowing someone because you judge someone. And, you know, like now, weekly, I almost have dinner with someone that might be a male on the journey to become a female, when back in the day that would have really just, like, freaked me out and not been able to handle. And not because of who they are, but because of other people around. I'd just be thinking they're watching and judging, when now I don't even think about that. The other night I went to a show and I heard a saying. The man said, "Be yourself because everybody else is taken." And I just thought, well, that's such a powerful kind of piece and words that, you know, I think forever people were sort of trying to fit into society and be someone else. Really, you can't be someone else. You know, you can only just be yourself. Think about it.